Strikes again in one of Omaha's most popular recreation areas.
The damage affects more than just the scenery. Mike McKnight tells us police are working the latest case.
Fast, 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 speed.
A goal of soccer practice is to move the feet, but deep tire ruts added an unwanted twist to training at Lake Zorinsky fields.
Oh, definitely is a big obstacle because, they can twist their ankles and that definitely can hurt somebody, for sure.
A vandal behind the wheel recently tore up nearly all the Lake Zorinsky soccer fields, where the Gomez family prepares for the upcoming outdoor season.
It ruins innocent kids' play, I think.
The Omaha Parks director estimates repairing damage to the soccer fields could cost a few $1,000s. The cost of this vandalism isn't just measured in money, but time lost. These ruts have to be smoothed over, the field replanted to be made safe for play again. The four-wheel drive vandalism has been reported to Omaha police, which started an investigation. The Parks Department may have a lead, but tips will help find who is responsible so the city can seek restitution for the field damage.
When we run laps or when we do anything, it's hard to see if there's like a deep or like a drop in the field, so it's like you roll your ankles on it a lot.
This is the second act of vandalism that 6 News has found at Lake Zorinsky. Last month, 24 or more cedar, pine, and oak trees chewed up by someone using a forest mulcher. Neither the city nor Corps of Engineers gave permission for the tree and brush clearing. The investigation continues to find who chopped into the lake's south woods.
Stay. Never.
Back over at the soccer fields.
Yeah, they can be used for a lot of things.
Max isn't chasing a ball, but a bird dummy.
Train them for duck hunting right now, and then later on pheasant hunting.
So the damage digs into public space used for many activities, and the vandalism spins a pitch for added security.
I wish they put cameras up or something. Yeah, I wish they catch them.
On your side at Lake Zorinsky, Mike McKnight, 6 News.
And if you have any information about either cases of vandalism, contact Omaha Police or the City Parks Department.